Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video, I'll be going through. It's probably going to be a very quick video, but I'll be going through. Sorry, the AFL finals week one. Tips wise, wasn't the best week for me. Went for a couple upsets and got the upsets wrong, I guess. And then also going through and tipping week two. So before we get into the video, remember to, wait a second, let me actually decide to click the button. Remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into the video. So with this game, as you can see, got the tip wrong with Melbourne Collingwood. Welcome to invite any Collingwood fans to the channel, just because that'll get good viewership. Obviously, I don't. If they want to say Collingwood's going to win the premiership, as they are probably the favourite now, go on and do it. Yep, I predicted Melbourne to win by 9 points. I predicted Melbourne to kick the last two goals, and they decided not to kick the last two goals. So I was 16 points off there in this game, and yeah, just a little bit annoying. So it wasn't too far off in the tips actually this week. You'll see that I was probably in total around 2 goals off, I think, in each game, or in the games that I got wrong, and pretty accurate in the games that I got right, except for the Brisbane game. I think I was 3 goals off or something like that. Then we moved down to the Carlton Swans game, and yeah, Swans are out. And they've already had almost the biggest off season, even though they played in week one of the finals, compared to a lot of the other sides, as they seemed. It's pretty much as per Thursday 10:30 a.m. on the East Coast. It seems pretty much set and buried that Brodie Grundy will be a Swan, but it's just a matter of what they will how they'll get that, and yeah, that will be included in the Swans off season trade scenarios, etc. As I'm building up a file for that to do a video which will go in depth. It will probably be a 15 to 20 minute video going through. One video will be the season recap, and then another video going through potential move-ons, trades, etc. As yes, every team wants to be able to maneuver their list and get rid of 50% of their list, etc. to improve it, but realistically most sides get 9 moves done pretty much. That's about it. So yeah, as you can see with I think the most someone's gotten delisted so far, I think, is 5 or 6. So if you think about that, they trade another 2 or 3, potentially. Not many more than 2 or 3 guys get traded from a team at a certain window. That's up to your 8 or 9 there. Maybe they had a couple of retirees. I don't know if that's particular, but that gets you up to the 10 or 11 that a rebuilding side may do. But most of the competing sides will do 8 or 9. So we'll see what the Swans do. I have a prediction that'll be 4 or 5 different, I think. So there's that. But obviously, going back to this, I was just trying to ramble to get a little bit more time. Carlton against Swans. Carlton won by a goal. A little bit iffy, but I mean, the Swans just didn't get it done goal kicking wise, as simple as that. And yeah, clearances are a big issue for the Swans, and that's why Brodie Grundy, who a lot of people are saying is hasn't had a good game in like 5 years, to 2019. If you look at the stats here, you can bring it up. 2020, in a COVID shortened year, which had smaller quarters than the women's do, with 16-minute quarters. If you actually extrapolate that stats wise out to a full game, he averaged, I know I'm going off fantasy, but he averaged basically the exact same as he was doing back in when he was playing All-Australian level for Collingwood. 2021, he had a good year as well. 2022, he was injured for Collingwood, played 6 games, and then 2023, he played and in behind Gawn. So he's had 2 really off seasons, I guess, which had several factors, meaning that he wasn't off. And you could see even with the Melbourne series that the Melbourne, when Gawn was down injured, that he was fine. He was still performing to that exact same level. He hasn't really lost it, in my opinion, and pretty sure he's one of the best, if not the best, clearance ruckman in the comp, and this one's really struggled with clearances. So getting a better clearance ruckman in itself is going to be better, and getting a ruckman that's going to get more taps and stuff like that to our own players is much better. So I think that's just a plus plus, and pretty much the best ruckman that the Swans could have gotten for pretty much almost the best ruckman for what the Swans needs in the whole comp, and they were able to get him for what I think is going to be a pick, either pick 30 or a pick around 25 to 35 in that range. It seems like that's the value they place on Grundy. So there's that, and we'll see what his contract is, whether who's paying what or whatever. But anyway, Swans I predicted by 7, lost by 6, and yeah, they could have actually could have won that if they kicked better. But I mean, what is that? 13 points off in the margin, so not even that bad. Then you have the 2 games that I predicted right. Gold Coast are nowhere near finals. What am I saying? They finished 15th, and Swans are probably going to go for their pick. That's how bad they played. GWS 101, St Kilda 77, 24 points out. 24-point margin, sorry, and I predicted GWS by 12, and they won by, they won by 24, so I was 12 points off there. Pretty good pick there. And then Brisbane, 25 points off. I was, as I predicted them, by 23, and they won by 48 here. So in the end, what's that, 25, 50, 66 points off in the total margin. Not the worst, not the best, but still just going places. And I sort of did predict a couple of outlandish results, and I do think with the Melbourne losing Brayshaw as well as some other stuff happening, I do think that Melbourne would have potentially done better in that game. But you just got to be, like, you looked at the XS scoring, I guess, and Melbourne should have put that game to bed, to be honest. So should have Collingwood. And, I mean, Carlton would have put the game to bed against the Swans and not even allowed them to have a fourth quarter comeback if Harry Mackay knew how to kick straight. Moving on to the semis. And let me get another sheet of paper. Here we go. Melbourne against Carlton. Now, here's the problem with what happens every single time in these predictions. You go into week 2, and you got to find there's always one team that goes out, and the saying is always one team goes out in straight sets. The saying is always that the teams that lost are kaput, and the saying is that always the winners from week 1, the elimination games, they're riding high, they're doing well, they're gonna make the semi-finals or whatever, prelims. Sorry, they're gonna make the prelims. So we gotta try and take a step back and take away those generalizations that usually occur with tipping. And if you actually look at the underlying metrics, both GWS and Port have an absolute warrant to win that game. If you actually look at the expected score, Port lost the expected score by, I think, 6, 7. I don't think it was actually that bad. And then Melbourne won their expected score against Carlton, and Carlton might have lost their expected score. So if you look at that and you're thinking, Carlton, the underlying metrics say that Melbourne should beat Carlton and Port should beat GWS. Now, one team usually does go out in straight sets. That is usually the generalization. Is that going to occur here? When I initially saw the results from from week 1, I thought Melbourne are probably going to look cooked without Brayshaw and Van Rooyen, Grundy coming back in, so that could lead to a Melbourne loss, and they don't really have home field advantage. And then I thought Port were also cooked when they played, and GWS looked really good. But when you look at the underlying metrics and the fact that Port are going to be playing at home, and they were playing at Brisbane, where Brisbane haven't lost in 18 months, 24 months or something at the Gabba. They're 12-0 this year, and I'm pretty sure their last couple games at the Gabba in the previous year they won. So I think there's more warrant for the Carlton winning than GWS winning. And I say that because home field is pretty much done at MCG. I think even the fact that Carlton might have more fans at the game. So I am going to go, I think, with the upset here. But then you have Petrarca, Oliver, Gawn's also probably playing injured. I just think that Melbourne's forward line is a little bit disjointed, as well as the fact that you've got Gawn playing on an injury cloud. You've got Brayshaw that you've got to replace. You've got Van Rooyen that you've got to replace. It's just pretty bad at the moment, and I don't really think they have a forward that's really working that efficient, as well as I think Carlton almost they look worse with Mackay, but it's not terribly worse for a man that's being paid that much. So I think Carlton are going to win this game, and I'm going to predict them winning by 11 points. I mean, they're going to get smoked by Brisbane in Brisbane, but And then you have Port versus GWS, and I think Port are going to win this game pretty convincingly. Oh, sorry, not convincingly. I do think you will see a bounce back because, if they do lose to GWS, then questions start to go on Koshi for extending the coach. And then also the fact that Port had been in and around for 5 or 6 years and haven't made a grand final. I don't remember. Don't think they have. And also just been knocked out in weird ways in finals. So I do think Port win this game, and I do think they win it. Not convincingly, but I don't think it will be an absolute thriller. I think they win it by 19 points. And in the Carlton game, because there's not many games to do, I'm gonna make a prediction that I think Kerno kicks. I think Charlie Kerno kicks 4 goals in the game, and pretty much wills them onto victory. As I don't think it'll be as high scoring as it could be. And then you've got Port Adelaide against GWS, and I think you'll see. I think Ollie Law's decent, but I don't think he'll go bang in the finals, as in have 2 almost best on ground performances in the finals. So I think Port's, what's my prediction going to be? I think this one I think could easily be very, very high scoring, as they're 2 very transition game based sides. And Port just have a lot of power in the midfield. I think you're going to see Butters and Rosie combine for 50 touches and 3 goals. So that is my predictions there, with a little bit of if I just take this back, where are you going? Of course my hotkeys decide not to work, and those are my predictions there for the what are we in, the semi-finals. And yeah, we'll see how they go. I could easily be off, but let's see how they run. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks guys, goodbye.